Hello, this is Scotty McCoy. I am the author of the Ultimate Friday the 13th trivia book, and I am writing another book titled The Ultimate Slasher Movie Encyclopedia, and I am currently interviewing the cast and crew of the Friday the 13th franchise, and I currently have on the phone with me Whitney Rydbeck, who played Roy in Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Hi, Whitney, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing great. I can't complain. So I have about 9 questions or so for you. The first one has nothing to do with Friday the 13th, but it's a little bit about your background. I'm wondering if you can let us know how you got started into acting.
I started out, I guess, the acting thing happened when I was in a church production of original musicals called road shows when I was up in Utah with my aunt and uncle and found out that I was funny. I did this little original play and people laughed. It changed my life. So when I went back to junior, I was 14 then. When I went back to junior high school, I took speech and drama and started doing theater all through high school and just kept going on. I had an uncle who was an actor, and my father had done some acting in his youth, so I guess it became part of the family. So I just progressed from starting out with a church play into school plays, and then into getting an agent and taking it from there.
That's awesome. So the second question I got for you is, what was your audition like for Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives?
What was my ambition?
What was your audition like?
What was my audition like?
Yeah.
Well, I knew Tom McLoughlin, the director. He and I were in. He was the head of the only mime company, and I was part of the company. And he knew I had gone off and been doing acting. I'd done commercials and television shows and some film and theater. And so when he was directing the Friday the 13th film, he thought I was right for the part of Roy and contacted me about it. And so I didn't really do an audition per se for it. It's because he knew my work and knew what I could do, and I got the part basically from having worked with him before and having him know who I was. That happens quite often in this business. Some people who aren't known get to audition, and those who are known are sometimes offered the part. So that's what happened with me. The difficulty was it was normally going to be a part that would have been cast in Georgia, where the filming was done, and usually for the small parts like that, they try to find someone local because they don't want to go to the expense of bringing someone in from LA. But Tom managed to arrange it so that I could go in and do this. So that's how I got the part.
That's awesome. And I loved your character because especially when like you're first encounter Jason and you have this gun and then you just shoot him and a blob of paint. He just looks at it like, what the hell? that was an epic scene.
Yeah, it was great fun. It was great fun to do.
So the third question I got for you is, what was the best part about filming Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, and what was the worst?
Wow. Kind of hard to find the best part. It was just so fun, and it fit. I figured this guy was a character who worked in a office somewhere where he was never really taken too seriously. So when they were going to play this game with the paint guns, he was determined to go out there and prove that he was a man, that he was going to win this game, and he was going to come out on top, and everybody would be impressed. And of course, everything goes wrong, and across his nemesis that he didn't know was even in the forest and gets killed. So it was a very fun play to do. I think some of the funniest things were done with the branch where I put my hand on the branch and it breaks.
Yeah.
And I try to put it back. That I have to admit that was the director's idea. Says, as soon as you touch this thing, it'll fall apart. And so he kind of clued me on what to do, and then we rolled the film. Now, obviously, you can only do it in one take.
Right.
And so I had fun trying to put it back and then get determined to be the hero in this game and go on. So the fun part, I guess, was that the whole thing was fun. I mean, with Jason standing there and I shoot him with the, with the paint, and oh my gosh. And then he comes scaring me off. So there really wasn't anything that was like hard or difficult or certain thing that was something that I feared or thought would not work. It was actually a very positive experience and a very fun one. And I knew some of the people I worked with, and they were all a joy to work with. The other characters who were out, and they got their heads decapitated. Yes. We all got done in that movie, but it was a complete joy. I enjoyed doing every moment. Working with Tom is a joy. He's a terrific director,
right.
And he knows just what to say for you to take the ball and run with it.
Right. And
that's what made it such a pleasant experience, and also encourages you to do your best work.
Exactly.
So that was my situation.
So what was the most memorable moment that you had while filming your scenes in Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives?
Oh, most memorable moment. Well, I think the physical business with the branch that breaks, and then the fall. I have to do that trip and fall, which, of course, in mime we do a lot of physical stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's one reason also when Tom cast me in that, knew I would be able to do. But the trip and the fall, and where I lose the gun, and then have to go find out the gun, those are pretty memorable parts.
Awesome.
And of course, being chased by Jason.
I actually watched that scene before the interview. I watched that whole scene on YouTube, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, I love this character. Like, he's just such a comedy character. It's really funny.
Yeah, it was. He was a terrific character. I just felt very good about doing that part.
Right. So you answered a little bit about this, but how was Tommy McLoughlin as a director?
He's a very, very good director. Of course, you see, I've known him for years. He was the head of the LA Mime Company when we were doing mime together, and so he was the leader and creator and prime mover of that movement. And when he got into filmmaking, I saw his films, and then when he offered this part in Friday the 13th to me, I thought, oh, this will be great. So then I got to work with him, not as a head of the mime company, but as a film director. One thing about Tom is I'm always confident that this guy's done his homework and knows exactly what he wants and how to get what he wants out of you, and also how to give you the freedom to contribute. He is a man who's got great ideas. I mean, that whole thing with the branch is so funny.
Yeah.
And of course, he comes out of comedy. He comes out of very funny things he used to do in the LA Mime Company, and also able to do things very scary and make it all work and keep the pace moving. And brilliant to put the humor, I think, in this horror movie, which makes it go to a higher level than just doing something trying to be scary. When you have something that has some humor in it, you make the scarier parts, by contrast, scarier. And I think he's a great storyteller and very easy to work with. I think Tom is a very talented and a very terrific director.
That's awesome, and I agree with that. Like, he knows how to. That's why Friday the 13th Part 6 is one of my favorites of the film franchise, because it is scary, but it has the humor to it too. And I like comedy movies and I like horror movies. I like horror movies a little bit better, and when you put comedy into a horror, it just gives me both of my favorite genres all wrapped in one.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I rest my case that that's my defense of how good a director he is.
Exactly.
Because he knows that combination is a good combination. It helps tell the story and makes it more effective.
Exactly. So, what was it like working with C.J. Graham, who played Jason Voorhees?
I didn't work with him very much. The thing, which was kind of good. I mean, I didn't converse with him or challenge him. So it made it. It was better to set it up that way. If I was palling around with him or talking with him, and okay, let's go prepare like I'm scared. It was great because he kept a distance from me, and I kept a distance from him. So then when we rehearsed the scene, and there he was, and I shoot the thing, and he looks at me, comes after me. It made it more organically scary. See what I'm saying?
I agree.
So I've heard this story happen a lot with a lot of actors who, when they are playing with the villain, they keep that mystique going without becoming too familiar with it. So he did a very professional job and gave me something to play off of by not getting too chummy.
Exactly. I know Ted White, who played Jason in Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, and he said he would not interact with any of the cast and crew. They would all hang out out behind the scenes after filming, like when it was all wrapped up and everything. He would completely keep his distance because he said he felt that if he was going to be around the cast and crew, he felt that it was just going to make it look like a bona fide, miss. It's like they're going to know who he is. He wanted that scare factor. He didn't want them to know he's this really cool guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it was very effective.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why that film is so good even with the chase scene between Trish and Jason, because she never interacted with the actor, and it gave it that realistic feeling to it.
Yeah, and he's a big guy,
I believe he.
When he has all that costume on and starts walking toward you, believe me, it doesn't take much to be motivated to get the hell out of there.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe he might be the tallest Jason at 6'2".
Oh, that's all part of what's intimidating.
Exactly.
And you want to use that. You're making a film and you want it to be as truthful as you can, because the camera sees when you're not truthful, and that's what makes the film interesting. So yeah, I never really got to know him, but for the betterment of the film, that was a good thing.
Right. So in the scenes you were paintballing, you had a paintball gun with paint. Now, was that a real paintball gun and real paint that you shot him with, or was it like a prop?
No, my gosh, it's been so many years ago. I think it was. I think I really shot something, but I don't. I can't remember if. I think I shot at him, but I'm not sure because I had to hit him. I think it hit him in the chest because I remember he looks down and looks at it, and he looks up, and now he's really mad.
I know it's been a lot of years, and it's fine. I mean, I have some actors that I've interviewed from the films that don't even remember what their audition was because it was so many years ago. So the next.
I'm sorry, my phone's ringing. I don't know what the heck that is.
No problem.
So I have no idea. I'm gonna let the other phone. Can you say that again? Because
Yeah, I said I remember some of the actors from the Friday the 13th films. Like, it's been so long, they don't even remember what their audition was like.
Oh yeah. Oh well, it was a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking what 80. When was this made? 86 or 80?
86 or 87, I believe.
Yeah. So it is a long time ago. Yeah. So I remember pulling the trigger, but I can't remember exactly if I literally shot him, because I think I had to hit ideally in the right place for his reaction to work. Geez, I'm sorry, I just can't remember. I think I shot. I remember shooting the gun, but I don't remember because the camera's on me. And then they of course cut to him being hit.
Yeah.
So I really don't. I'm sorry, geez. Maybe Tom McLoughlin would know if you ask him.
That's fine, not a problem. So the next question I got is, what was the atmosphere like on set while filming Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives?
Well, the atmosphere was wonderful. Everyone got along. Everyone was going, doing their job. There was no problems or any kinds of ego things are going on. Everyone was very professional in making that film. I mean, I've done a lot of film in my career, television, commercials, and various things in my life, and for the most part, I find that people doing these things are professional and have a professional attitude. Once in a while, there can be something that comes up, but everyone seemed to have respect for Tom. Of course, I do. I walked into that thing having respect for him, and everyone everyone was prepared, and everyone knew we had a schedule to keep and to do our job. And at least in the scene that I worked in, everything went very, very smoothly, and very, very professional situation. So the atmosphere on the set was very comfortable. So when you had to do your job, like I had to do my part, I could concentrate totally on my task at hand, and concentrate on my work and not be distracted by things that that would come from people's being upset or egos or whatever. None of that seemed to be around. Tom established, I think, a very comfortable atmosphere in which to work.
Awesome. So the last question I got for you, do you have any future projects that you're currently working on, or anything that you would like to tell the readers about that you can promote?
Well, I'm now retired from teaching. I mean, for many years I've taught theater at Pasadena City College, and just retired 2 years ago, and then was teaching part-time for a couple of years, and now I have fully retired. Okay. So right now, at this very moment, I'm enjoying being retired. And the last acting job I did was in 2004 when I did a Scrubs, a TV show, another funny thing. And that's the last one I've done. And at this point, I'm taking a break, and I'm not sure. Maybe I'll try to go back and, now that I'm older, see if I can play any older parts in commercials or TV. But right now, I just kind of want to chill for a while and enjoy kind of taking a break.
Sounds good. You earned your dues.
Good at the moment, but I'm not closing that door. We'll just see. You've got me in a place where I'm quite fine for the moment, taking a break from this. But I'm not closing the door.
That's great, and you earned your dues. You put so many years in acting, entertaining all of your fans. So I mean, I adore your character in Friday the 13th. I thought you were phenomenal. You were funny. You were amazing. You just showed how intimidating Jason is. Which technically your job was to show how intimidating Jason is as a villain and a killer. You were running, screaming, and all that. I mean, I thought it was brilliant.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem.
I certainly enjoyed doing it, and had a great time doing that. It's that kind of thing that makes you happy that you're in show business, or you're in an act profession when things go like that. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you for your time, for having this interview with me, and I hope you have a good rest of your evening.
Well, thank you so much, and the same to you. I'm glad we got to connect. This was a pleasure.
I am very grateful. Thank you so much, and you have a good day.
You too.
Yep, thank you. Bye.